I'm going to force myself back on this show. I'm having so much fun with you guys. This is a blast.
You're not going to have to try hard. Yeah.
This is Mick Foley,
former WWE superstar Hornswoggle.
This is Dave LaGreca from Busted Open.
I am WWF's longest reigning light heavyweight champion, Gilbert, and you are now
somewhere in the ring.
Somewhere in the ring.
Somewhere in the ring.
Somewhere in the ring. Have a nice day.
There's going to be an announcement that my casket is stuck in traffic. I'm late to everything.
Dude, you're not late at all. Trust me.
Well,
that's what I was saying.
The fact that the first word I heard when Ryan said, "Oh, our guest is here," and Andrew said, "Punctual."
No,
hey, first for everything.
Exactly.
It's just starting a new trend. No, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. It's not starting a new trend.
Listen, no. There's no pressure. I fully admit, and as a character flaw, I operate on my time.
Sure,
like
that's fair.
Like if there's some place that I have to be on time, I'd rather not go. I'd just rather not go. Don't invite me. I'd rather not go. And people have learned to either hate me for it or love me in spite of it.
Do you have any friends that will invite you to some place but give you a time? Yes.
I had a buddy do that. I was in his wedding, and he told me a full hour. And so when I showed up, like with what I thought was 15 minutes late.
Sure.
He's like, now you're 45 minutes early.
Oh
you're
my
good.
God.
And I'm like, you mother. Yes, my buddies compensate for it. Yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. I am Andrew Sanford. This is Ryan Sprague. This is Somewhere in the Ring, a podcast where we talk about pro wrestling. And today we are talking to Maven Huffman. Hello, Maven.
Oh shit! I forgot we didn't even do the intro. I'm well.
We like to start cash, man. We're gonna have a fun time, a nice conversation.
There's no more casual way to start than what we did.
Yeah,
exactly.
There we go. Yeah,
exactly.
And we like that too. Look. We asked you to be here because of you. We want this, Maven. That's the whole point.
I like that. That people. When people don't take themselves too seriously, God knows I don't. I mean, I'm now making a living off of freaking YouTube. So,
hey, look here. To that end, I think that's a great way to segue into my first question. So, I have twin 4-year-olds, Maven. I have twin 4-year-old boys. Thank you. I'm sorry. Those are both the general responses that I usually get. But I asked, they are starting to get into wrestling a little bit. And I asked them, I was like, I will be talking to a pro wrestler today. Do you have any questions? And I got one from each of them. Ooh. If that's an okay way to start.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Number one from my son, Isaiah. What is your favorite wrestling move?
Ooh, Isaiah. Good question. My favorite move is and always has been the figure 4. And that's just because that was the first real wrestling move that me and my brothers learned to put on each other.
Same.
And it's the one move that if you actually apply pressure, it hurts.
Yep.
So, you know, when you're kids, you're trying all these different moves and stuff, and you can't really throw punches at each other, but you can put somebody in a damn figure 4.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then the day that Ric Flair actually put one on me, I was literally in the ring, and it's like check off a bucket list thing.
Sure. Did he how much pressure did Ric Flair apply?
None.
I
didn't feel
what a gentleman. Come on. What a gentleman.
Awesome.
I didn't feel a thing. And he was tagging with Orton, and Orton said, he was like, yo, was Rick killing you with that figure 4? And I was like, no. And he was like, you sold it well. And I was just like, and that was like my wrestling, nirvana. Everything was downhill after that.
Sure.
No.
Okay. My other question from my other son, August.
Ooh, good names. Isaiah and August. Good names.
Yeah.
Good names.
What ghost is a boat?
What ghost is a boat?
I know. I'm sorry to throw something a little controversial at you.
Can you have August give me a little bit more clarification?
Elaborate,
on what he's looking for.
Please go get him.
I can ask my wife to bring him up. I will ask.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to provide him an answer.
That's fair.
Because if there's ghosts on boats that I don't know about, but by God, I want to get to the bottom of it. I can't have it.
My first thought was, I was like, I know he's seen like some stuff. Being my son, I'm a big horror movie fan, but even then, I don't like. They haven't seen anything really. But I was like, did he see Ghost Ship when I wasn't paying attention? Ooh. Do you guys remember that one? That was like,
what a great movie. What a great Julianne Margulies.
Yes.
Yeah. I still have nightmares. I still have nightmares from that little girl when they look down in the hole and she's standing there in her like Easter dress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, one of the best. That opening is one of the most impactful openings to a horror movie.
Oh, with the wire that cuts everybody in half. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Welcome to our horror podcast, mate.
We can switch it up quick.
Quite a surprise for you. Yeah.
Honestly, if you think about, I could do a podcast every week on just movies, movie reviews. If you think about it, what a great, just an amazing premise too. A ship that because think about how damn big the ocean is.
Sure.
And you got to think before radar ships get lost.
Yeah.
What absolutely. A great concept. Yeah.
There's the Bermuda Triangle. That's its whole deal. It's just if you go to this area of the ocean, we will not see you again.
Right. Did not have Ghost Ship on my bingo card of things that would be discussed today.
Oh, get ready, man. Get ready.
While we're waiting to see if my son makes his way up here, we can go back into the territory of wrestling a little bit more. And I think I just need it. Why wrestling? Is it the physicality? Is it the performance? Or is it the kind of attention that it brings?
It was, I think, because wrestlers were the closest things to real life superheroes when I was young.
Sure.
It was before Marvel took over the movie theaters. It was back when these guys were just larger than life and bigger, and they could go out and tell their boss off or just tell people how they felt. And I mean, I loved being a heel, and it's because I got to do everything and say everything that's rattling around in my brain. But then I could be like, I was just kidding. And it's just wrestling. Wrestlers are real life superheroes. Yeah. And I always enjoyed I can't remember a time that I didn't want to be in shape when I was young. Like I used to look at like the Schwarzeneggers and the Stallones and be like, I want to get like that one day. And then when people were like, well, you got to do steroids to do it. Bring them on. Bring them on. Can I do them now? No, you're 14. You better not. You're 14.
Yeah.
See,
people never want you to be great, man. Come on.
People hating on you forever. And then I mean, I grew up, I had the fortunate luck maybe that I grew up with two older brothers I grew up in the South, and we didn't have much going on at the time. They beat the hell out of me growing up, like literally beat that. Like I still remember being held down. They would hold my arms against the ground and feed me grass.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it toughened me up. Mm-hmm. And once I actually found a guy named Jim and got into it and started working out and got bigger than both of them, they toughened me up to where when I got into the wrestling world, I was prepared. I wasn't like I'd been hit. I wasn't not used to pain, so I could take the pain. Sure. And then all the performative aspects of it just shined. And it's still a way to stay a little bit competitive. I mean, I know that sounds really weird saying because of wrestling is predetermined, but we're still competing with everybody in that locker room. Right. And it's I don't know, like I'm 48 years old and I had a brief period between the age of 42 and 46 that I had to grow up for a little bit But now I'm back to being a kid again. Like I've somehow managed to, like, I feel like I found a life cheat code through wrestling to where I never have to grow up.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's
well, you know,
it's
it's funny. Like, that's how Andrew and I feel. You know, he's got kids, he's married.
Yeah.
I moved to another country. I'm running 2 podcasts as my full-time job. Like, we had to grow up pretty damn quick. But this topic of wrestling is the one thing where he and I can get together every week, talk to people like yourself, and feel like we did when we were 12, 13, 14 years old again. It's
absolutely,
there's something magical, I think, about professional wrestling that never leaves. It doesn't matter, you know, when it's happening. It's amazing. And it's awesome.
It's transcendent. It transcends boundaries. It transcends age. It transcends gender. It's the one thing. Like, what country are you in now?
I live in Scotland right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that,
yeah.
That's how did you? I kind of want to know how you ended up in Scotland, because you don't have a Scottish accent.
No, I do not.
You don't sound like Connery.
Give it time. Give it like 20 minutes or so.
Highlander is my favorite movie, but
Highlander's the biggest hunk of monkey shit ever put on film. Like, I'm sorry. I tried to rewatch it recently because I remember loving it as a kid. Why did they cast someone who is a berry picker? Do you know what a berry picker is? Someone who's in the field, one eye's looking for berries and the other one's looking for rattlesnakes. Why did they cast a guy that is cross-eyed?
It was an interesting choice. It was a very interesting choice.
And B, they casted him. He didn't speak English.
That's true. Not a lick.
Not a lick of English. It's just so bad. But as a kid, I did love it.
Yeah.
I did love it.
I love that.
I feel like that was truly like a staple of 80s action stars too. It was just like, you might not be able to understand them 100%, but they're gonna look great. And that's even the ones like Stallone who did speak English. Like they're like, you might not know.
But, hold up, but did he? I don't know. I tried to watch Over the Top not too long ago. It's so bad.
That movie's crazy, man.
It's so bad, but it's like a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the moment I hear Kenny Loggins come in, meet me halfway. I like I'm not gonna lie, guys, a tear sheds. And although there is a part of that movie that I've always wondered about. Remember the part we're familiar with Over the Top, right?
Yep, I am very much so.
I'm really trying to get this off wrestling and get it into movies, aren't I? All right, so you remember in the beginning? Remember in the beginning when he picks his kid up from the military school and he's driving him away, and this little snot-nosed prick of a kid says, "We gotta go in that. Why can't we fly?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought we drive." So, like 30 seconds later, the kid on the highway breaks out of the car, tells him to pull over, gets out of the car, and then runs across several lanes of traffic. You remember?
Yep.
Tell me that doesn't look like an abduction.
Absolutely.
This kid, his jacket's ripped. He's running. You got this trucker chasing him. Like
with
that
suspenders. A trucker with suspenders.
Yes.
Red flag. Red flag.
Huge red flag. That looks like that looks like exactly how we got. What are they? Amber alerts.
Yes,
that looks like the very first Amber alert.
It was the 80s.
It was the
80s. My favorite bit about that movie, aside from the fact that it becomes like a documentary about truck drivers and arm wrestling at the end, is that movie changed how actors are paid in Hollywood. Because the guys who made that movie, Cannon Films, there's a great documentary on them if you ever get a chance, called like The Wild and Crazy Story of Cannon Films, where they went to Stallone and they were just like, please be in our arm wrestling movie. And they were making like, you know, Masters of the Universe and all this kind of like this stuff that wasn't big with A-listers. And Stallone's agent was like, my client would not be in your movie if you paid him $5 million. And they were like, what about $6 million?
Yeah, what about 6?
Yes. And then I think eventually he ends up getting paid like $10 million. And the word around Hollywood becomes, well, the Canon guys gave Stallone $10 million. Paramount can give me 15. Like it just completely shifted things.
Leveraging, baby.
For that movie.
How do you know all this? How do you...
he falls into. I can tell you fall into rabbit holes. I fall into documentary rabbit holes.
Oh yeah, buddy,
and love it. Like I'm pretty sure that I'm a damn World War II historian and one of the best in the world at this point.
No.
I've watched World War II in color so many times. I can give you the route that the Allies took on D-Day. Like I can give you all that. I've watched those documentaries so much.
Wow.
What kind of tanks did the British forces use?
That I don't know. I guess I'm
not. All right. No. Never mind. Afterward, look it up and just shoot us a sound clip, and Ryan will insert it.
Post-production is an amazing thing. Wow. I love where this conversation's going.
I do love that about Canon because I remember the movies that they put out. Now, did they put out Cliffhanger too?
They were done by that point. Cliffhanger is when I feel like Cliffhanger is actually a perfect example of Hollywood being like, I mean, if these movies make money, I guess we can get like
why not
an A-lister and a star and like because I think Rennie Harlan directed that movie, so it's like you're also getting a very good Rennie Harlan's a good enough action director, especially like that was them trying to almost copy that model. Like Cannon Films was not taken seriously at all in the 80s. They would like go to Cannes Film Festival with posters for movies that didn't exist, sell the movie that way, and then take the money to make the movie. But then maybe only use like a third of it and then use the rest of it on like other movies and cocaine.
Hookers and blow. I was going to say, hookers and blow.
That's right.
Exactly.
I have a buddy who says that loves Adam Carolla, and he always quotes Carolla's line that the best time in life was like that late 70s, early 80s. The post like when cocaine was safe before AIDS. Like that's the best span of the best 4-year span ever. Last thing on Over the Top. I always thought it was great how in Over the Top Stallone won. The prize was exactly what he needed.
Exactly what he needed.
Money in a truck.
What
a damn. I watched this as an adult, and I'm like, who wrote this?
Cocaine wrote it.
Cannon were on cocaine.
Wow. I love this. I love
it. If we went out to dinner, if we all went out to have dinner together, we'd be the guys at the table that the waitress would come around 4 times before we were ready to order.
We're not ready.
We haven't even looked at the menus yet.
No. We need time. What other things do you think you're an expert in that would surprise us? We got World War II. You know your movies, or at least your 80s movies.
I do know movies. I do know. I'm pretty damn good at this point with home repair too.
Nice.
Okay.
Like,
hell yeah.
As long as it's not electrical or plumbing, I'll do it. And the reason being is electrical will kill me, and plumbing, I could mess the whole house up. So I don't even mess. I don't even mess with those two. But other stuff, like I had a buddy who had a hole in his wall. And he was, and I was just kidding. I was at his house, and I was like, "Man, we could patch that up in literally 10 minutes." And he's like, "No way!" And we went to Home Depot, got the stuff, and patched it up. And he's mind blown that I knew how to do that, because he's like, "Did you get the book or something?" We call it like the book that grown men get. Like my dad. But I feel like growing up, I'm like, how the hell does he know how to do everything? And we're like, oh, there must be a book.
There's a book. Yeah.
So he asked, he's like, did you get the book?
They still won't give it to me. I keep asking. Nothing. No books.
For me, it's literally called YouTube. I'm just like, how do I fix it? Someone has done what you need to do on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest. I started a car that hadn't been started in almost 4 years. I was able to start it.
Did you spray it? Just spray the
No.
inside of it?
It was some like secret button like that you had to open a panel inside the car to get to in order to. It was crazy, dude. It was like the Batmobile. But this one girl in like China 10 years ago put a YouTube video up being like, this is how you start this car. And I was astounded. It's the beauty of
And then
YouTube.
you pressed that button, opened that panel, and I assume found cocaine. Like that is just to get back to.
Of course.
I believe that's the way. Yeah. Like that's how you hide it. That's extra. Not to turn this into a YouTube ad. That's how I learned how to play ukulele. Was looking up YouTube videos like on other people playing. You know,
two questions.
Lay it on me.
And I'm assuming we're friends at this point, so you're not going to get offended.
No.
Well, first question: why would you want to learn how to play like I can understand being at a party and there's a guitar in the corner and you want to like impress people. Like, I didn't know Andrew knew Stairway to Heaven.
Sure.
But I've never been anywhere where there's just a rogue ukulele.
So I, especially at the time,
or a need for Hawaiian music.
Or a need for what? Well, that's what I like. I can play Moon Age Daydream like on the ukulele in a way that I like doing ukulele songs that you wouldn't expect to hear on a ukulele. And
because all I can think of is that song from Christmas Vacation. Mahiki Maka is Hawaii way.
Yeah. That's a good song. But I also used to do a lot more stand up and things like that, and I was like, ukuleles can be pretty funny, and then just kind of brought one on stage with me and worked out. I think one of the first songs I wrote was a song about masturbating before sex so you last longer. That's the kind of comedy that I was. That's the kind of comedy that I was. The hot takes.
Me and you are right here.
Got you, baby.
You are right here.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have no. I'll leave that one to you guys.
Yeah, look, I got a song. I got a whole. If you got 3 minutes and 47 seconds, I have a.
There's a whole song. I can't say you've probably like solved a problem and done it through song. And a lot that at some point every guy is going to face. Because there's gonna be a time in every young man's life he walks out of a room knowing he's the worst girl, the worst guy this girl's ever slept with.
Oh, sure.
And that's tough. That's because she's got friends. She's gonna talk. So you solve the problem.
Look,
unfortunately, in that case, word does travel.
Yeah. What was your second question, Maven?
Oh, so how hard is playing the uke? It doesn't look hard.
Yeah,
it looks like if I had 30 free minutes and absolutely zero life ambition, I could learn how to play it.
You know what it is? Part of it was hard because I have piano fingers. I got long ass fingers, and the ukulele's pretty small.
Well, I see how you landed are you married?
I am.
Yes, he is.
I see how you landed your wife.
Hey, look. I'm just gonna take a sip of water and go from there.
Yeah.
But
he can bowl from his seat.
Arms too. It's they're everywhere. But it was so. Once you get like the G, C, F, A minor, like those are kind of the main chords that are used in like every song or most songs. And those ones are a little easy to pick up. Once you start having to go like, I have to go from like an E, which has your fingers here, down to like a D minor and then to a C, like that kind of moving around, just like with any kind of instrument, it can sound real shitty at first. And then eventually you kind of get in there and you do things a little bit more. And then you're like, I already know these 4 chords. Let me try a song that has like 7 or 8 chords on there. And it's just about like, just like with anything, you just progress. Yes. Yeah. Repetition. Yeah. And once you get proficient, doing whatever next step makes it more difficult.
Right. Yeah. I have zero musical ability. And as my girl will point out, zero rhythm. Like whatever black jeans I got from my father I never met. It wasn't that. Like it wasn't that.
Sure.
So Yeah.
Hey, mixed as well. I meant to bring.
Nice.
I don't see you at any of the meetings, but I don't. It's okay. I know they're weird times, and once we have to do them on Zoom, it's.
I'll let the others know.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Cool. Yeah. So if you feel like you don't have any rhythm, there was a lot of dance going on in the early 2000s in WWE. Did you ever get in a situation where you're like, please don't make me dance?
No, never.
No. Okay.
Fortunately.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think it would have been like a Carlton, but
no, of course not.
Yeah. I was the guy in college that when we went out to the clubs, I found the corner and then just stood up against it and tried to look like I was the toughest son of a bitch in there. Thinking the girls will come to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like me, but you actually could pull off the tough guy in the corner. I'm just I'm the creepy guy in the corner. Everyone's like, what is he doing over there?
I was about to say when Fat Joe came out with Lean Back, that must have been a huge boom for you. You're like, finally.
It was. Yeah. Ryan's the guy in the corner that the girls think he's making a hair doll of me at home.
There we go.
They weren't too far off.
But hey, and that's a compliment. Those take a long time. Okay,
it does show dedication.
Yeah.
Focus, guys. It's focus.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get each strand one at a time. My God, that takes persistence.
Absolutely, and precision.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, I got a question for both of you guys because I got in this debate with a guy yesterday.
Okay.
Awesome.
What an earworm is? Obviously,
yes.
a song you get in your head you can't get out. Yep. I had an earworm the other day. I couldn't get out, and my buddy asked me. He's like, "What's the worst song to have in your head as an earworm?" And then and I was like, "This is actually a good question." Wow. Because I think my song the song I had in my head might be the worst.
What
was it?
Remember the movie Grease? The first
Grease?
Yep.
I had, and I don't know how it got in there.
Yeah.
I had Beauty School Dropout in my ears. And I'm sitting there thinking about singing that. Beauty School Dropout.
Wow.
Beauty School Dropout.
Till graduation day. Beauty School Dropout. It's the worst.
That's
you talk about looking tough. There's no way to look tough humming Beauty School Dropout.
I have two answers to that question, actually. Because I think one, it could be any song that you don't know the words to. You ever get a song where you're like, "Oh, I know 2 words to this friggin' song,"
that's 90% of them, though.
Yeah,
that's what earworm basically is.
And then my other argument would be, any song could be the worst earworm because after a certain point, if something's stuck in your head, even if you like it, you will grow sick of it eventually.
Yes,
like it will get to a point where you're like, I don't want to hear Stairway to Heaven anymore or Beautiful Dropout anymore. I loved it yesterday.
I don't recall watching Grease anytime. So how I woke up with Beauty School Dropout in my head as an earworm, it's beyond me.
The mind is an incredible thing, man.
Yeah.
Mysterious.
Like one day when I die, when my hearse is in traffic and I get in front of the God Almighty, that's going to be my first question. How did Beauty School Dropout get in my head as an earworm?
Yep. Yeah.
He's gonna be like, man, when I can tell you how the world was created. Let's get with Beauty School Dropout first. Then we'll get to all that other stuff.
And then he's just like, why would I answer that? You were supposed to be here 20 minutes ago. I'm like, I don't understand.
Maven, God, even in the
come on.
Yeah. I had you down for 30 minutes, but we got 5 now.
Speaking of which,
he's gonna be like, we gotta hurry. Ryan and Andrew are on deck.
Yeah. They're waiting. Weren't you? I'm gonna call you out, Maven. Weren't you late on your first day to Smackdown too? I've seen you talk about that.
Yes. Yeah. I told you, I'm perpetually late. I was late to my first day of Smackdown. I was late to my Royal Rumble appearance with Taker. I showed up and they're already at the ring going over the spot. And I'm walking. I'm like, I don't know. It's whatever bone or organ you're supposed to have that makes you on time. I ain't got. Yeah.
So you're saying you win tough enough which is a huge deal. And then you're showing up, getting to be in the WWE, something that is notoriously pretty difficult, and you show up late. How did that affect your perception? How did that affect your reputation with the rest of the locker room?
With the rest of the locker room, they didn't notice. With the producers that asked me, where have you been? And and I'm like, traffic. And they're like, oh, we took the same roads you did. Somehow we didn't hit it.
Maven, we were in the same bus.
I did have good excuses though. Both shows, I was flying in day of.
Sure.
And once on the road, you realize if you're late, it's a bigger deal once you're in the town.
Sure.
Gotcha.
I showed up one time. I showed up one time late. I don't know how, but Randy Orton talked me in. We were like about 2 hours away from where Raw was going to be. And so we stayed in the town and we were like, we'll drive it tomorrow. And we met around 11, which if we leave at 11, 2 hours, gets us to the arena at 1. And he somehow talked me into, let's get a workout in. And we showed up, we rolled in around 3:30. And I'm just sweating the whole time. And I learned a very valuable lesson. Randy Orton isn't going to get yelled at. I'm going to get yelled at. And I'm not mad about that. That's just life, man. And people who think, well, that's not fair. That's just life. Life ain't fair.
Right.
And get over it. Yeah, I learned that quick.
Yeah, that is a lesson, man. To play off of that, maybe Andrew's the improv one out of us. I'm like a slave to a script. I'm like a playwright, so I have everything. I've got like 10 pages of notes for this interview with you. That is nowhere near what I thought this conversation was going to be, and I freaking love it. But my question for you is,
I'm sorry.
No, dude, this is awesome.
This is good for him. This is good for him.
He needs this. I need this.
He needs this. He also needs to be told that Highlander is bad more often. So thank you for that as well.
I really needed that.
Well, no, Andrew, he knows it.
I know. I know. Don't say it too loud in Scotland, but you're both right.
Yeah. When I pick the Ben and Jerry's up every night, I can tell myself this is healthy, but I know the truth. I know the truth.
It's got calcium. So like your first match or matches thereafter, like how I always envisioned you guys run this whole thing like 10 times before you go out there in front of the crowd, and like every beat for beat, stuff like that. That's what I always picture, not knowing how it actually works. So like your first match with Taz, how much prep did you guys have before that? Was it down to the move, or did you just go out there and be like, fuck it, like let's see what happens? Yeah,
no, the first several matches, it was beat for beat. I knew everything that was going to happen. I would come to find out later, and if any wrestler asks me, what advice can you give me? I'll tell them 2 things. 1, learn how to work without having everything called. It's so freeing once you don't have to have everything called. Now, wrestling those first few matches, I mean, I was so nervous. I'm literally standing behind the curtain going, why did you do this? Why did you do this? I hate this feeling. And because I thought I was going to forget stuff. And you do forget stuff. So once you can learn how to wrestle without having to remember stuff, it's so much better. And the second thing I'll tell wrestlers is give things a time to digest. Andrew, you're a comedian, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, debatable, I guess.
Yeah. I was about to say it depends. It depends on who you ask.
It depends on who's listening.
Yeah.
When you tell a great joke, it's all about letting it digest. You know, getting to the punchline. Wrestling's the same thing, and I've heard so many people talk about how wrestling and comedy, it's parallel universes. Well, in wrestling, if you do a big move and then you step on it with doing another, give the people time to digest stuff.
Yes,
right.
And like that's the 2 bits of advice I always give younger wrestlers. But it's honestly though, it takes time. when you're going out, when I was going out early in my career, I was so worried about like messing a spot up because I didn't want to mess up. But then later you realize, well, these people don't know what the spots are.
Right.
So if I mess something up, they don't know. Just go to something else.
Yeah.
And it's very freeing once you get comfortable with that.
Yeah. And compared to comedy too, like you also are playing off that audience quite a bit. Like, and sometimes you have to shift and adjust based on the crowd might be more into it than usual. The crowd might not be into it at all. And then you got to, that's a whole other issue of having to just, if you come out and you're doing your, like what you planned and it's not going over well, sometimes you got to shift.
Yeah. Or if you go out and you hit on something that's so over with the audience, why go off it? Why leave it?
Bingo.
Same with wrestling. If I started when I left the WWE, I started working with Billy Gunn, and I owe so much to him because he refused to talk before the matches. He's like, man, we'll figure it out there. He's like, we'll figure. He's like, we would like. He was beating me with the Famouser. He's like, I'm over with the Famouser after about 15 minutes. We'll figure out how to get to it out there, and then let the crowd work, and then it's so much easier and so much more fun.
Oh,
do funny spots, and then it made it so easy. And I'm sure with comedy it's the same. If you land on some joke that people are eating up and you can freestyle off that a little bit, which I'm 100% sure you can because of this interview, then why go off that?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about you're trying to get a reaction. You are trying to please the people in front of you. So if they're giving you that juice, drink it up. Like that's the whole thing.
I had
I'm getting rid of this 10 pages of notes right
now. Get out of here. Because I want to talk more about Billy Gunn.
Keep him for round 2 because I'm going to force myself back on this show. I'm having so much fun with you guys. This is a blast.
You're not going to have to try hard. Yeah.
Well, once you guys put it out and there's crickets, no one listens. Who's this asshole?
I don't know.
I guess with the same with comedy with wrestling, I forget who it was. Oh, Al Snow told me. He was like, here's where every wrestler makes the mistake. Every wrestler thinks that you're in the ring for you. You're not. You're in the ring for all the fans. You're there for them. Give them what they want. Don't do it for you. And it's just like light bulb moment.
Was that a hard lesson? Because we see these bigger than life wrestlers. A lot of them have big egos, and that can be a very not at all selfless. All of you, but like a confidence gets you very far, especially as a wrestler. But like, was there a moment where you had that moment of like, I'm not here for me? This isn't about me. This is about them. Did that light bulb go off for you?
It was, but in the reverse aspect. I learned that through Taker. Taker freely giving himself, his career, a spot to let me eliminate him.
Sure.
Proved that. Here's a man who has accomplished, by 2002, already Hall of Famer, legend.
Yep.
He had accomplished everything. He did not have to do what he did to give me a career, but he did. And why did he do it? Because he knew that everyone in that arena was going to come unglued. No one was going to expect that. Right. And that's when he took his selflessness and for the betterment of the show. I learned it from him. I learned it by watching you.
Is there anybody who you were just like, okay, I'm not even going to try to get that person to put me over, or even try to have that person because I love hearing about somebody like Taker, being selfless in that moment and realizing and putting the business first in a way. Is there anybody you dealt with where you're just like, I am talking to a brick wall, I'm not going to try to get this going?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan Sprague here from Somewhere in the Ring, and Andrew and I just wrapped an awesome episode of the podcast. We can't wait to share it with you soon, but before we do that, we need your help. We need your ratings and reviews, specifically on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, the two largest platforms in the world to get podcasts. Now, we are a small independent podcast, and we are going up against some pretty big hitters in the wrestling world. So in order to get featured, in order for us to find new listeners and gain visibility, we need your help. And that starts with a rating and a review over on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. It takes just a couple moments, but it means the world of difference to us. So, from Andrew and I, thank you so much for your unwavering support. We can't wait to keep doing the show, and we hope you will consider a rating and review for us somewhere in the ring.
I could tell every time I tagged with Shawn Michaels, he didn't like it. Like I could just because every time, and again, imitation's the most sincerest form of flattery.
Sure.
Everything I did probably had like some rockisms in it, just because I was just a huge fan of The Rock. So when I went to kick somebody, it probably imitated Rock a little too much. And I mean, God, Shawn hated it. And I thought he was being an asshole. He was trying to help me because like it was great advice. But yeah, I could always tell he probably didn't like how I got in the business, and then being as green as I was, he just didn't appreciate it.
You dealt with that a lot,
and to that extent, Hunter too.
Yeah, sure. Because it's also too like it's again like with comedy. When you're starting out in comedy, a lot of people are telling jokes in a similar style to their favorite comedians. It's all about, just like with wrestling or with comedy, you hit a sweet spot once you're able to be yourself in the ring and on stage. When you are no longer a mix of your influences, you're Maven. You know what I mean? Like, so I understand that. And it's too bad that you weren't, because you were tossed in. You were kind of tossed in. And like feet first, man. Yeah. Like you're gonna need time to adjust. Like and I was tossed in with not only a sink or swim, but we need you to swim ASAP because we have the next version of Tough Enough about to come out. So I did not realize until this morning how quickly those they got to season 2 and season 3.
Quick turnaround.
Yes, like in a way that feels more similar to how like reality and competition television is done now, where they're just like, oh, we already have 3 or 4 seasons on deck. With Tough Enough, that like it's detrimental. Like I was trying to find, I don't know if you were familiar with the story. Kelsey Grammer had a big problem with the Tough Enough house for like season 3.
I remember it vaguely. Like I do remember. Why? What was his beef?
He didn't want the house next to his house. Like that's really kind of what it was. And it's like it's such a thing. And we were I'll bring it up in a little bit, touch on it more. Like the media landscape was of such that you guys were on friggin' MTV. Like that big deal. It was such a smaller thing where all of a sudden you can find it was on friggin' Entertainment Weekly being like Kelsey Grammer doesn't like Tough Enough. And it's like, what is happening right now?
Did I forget when TMZ came out, but did the guy who runs TMZ that drinks big gulps, did he say anything about it?
I feel like he must have like that. And I think that's a good connection because I feel like TMZ was more of around that time, like 2002. You were watching TMZ if you were up at 2 a.m.
Right.
Aside from that, now it's just like, oh, TMZ, it's 4 p.m. Let's get our gossip on. Like it is.
I still wild. Remember when I got arrested in 2012. It's such a case of trying to find a silver lining in something. So I get arrested I get arrested in 2012, and the next day or 2 days later, it was on TMZ, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of cool."
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of. I'm after Britney Spears on a story on TMZ.
There you go.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I always like that. That stuff. There's always silver linings at the end of the day.
My girl disagreed with me.
Sure,
my girl disagreed with me, but
hey, are you happy where you are right now?
I'm as happy as I've been in years.
Then dag nabbit, everything led you to that point. You know what I mean?
The fact that YouTube has changed, and I tell my partner all the time, I'm like, he's 28-year-old kid. He's changed my life.
Incredible.
Changed my life. Like honestly, changed my life. Because we 50-50, we split everything.
Amazing.
I made more last month than I made in any pay-per-view.
Wow.
It's nuts. It's nuts. I got a brand new Escalade sitting down in my garage.
Hell yeah.
That without YouTube, I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having fun. You talk about, and you were hitting at it, that once you hit your stride and I could be Maven.
Yes.
I don't think I hit my stride until I came out on YouTube. And I finally saw, okay, people do like me, not the person or the character that I was trying to portray. And man, that's a good feeling. That's
hell yeah, dude.
Knowing that maybe the WWE seeing a little bit of what they missed out on, or if they would have gave me a different, just a little bit more time to mature or whatever, you could have had this. It's because I'm not gonna lie, man. I lived my dream. I always think, man, I was in a business where 60 people have this job. At any given time, there's about 60 men that are professional WWE wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And at one time I had that, and that's pretty cool. But obviously it didn't end the way, or didn't go the way I wanted. And that's always, it's something that, I'm 48 now. So I've accepted it, but there was a good 10-year period where wrestling was a touchy subject. And I wouldn't be doing this interview during that time. And it was I just did, people would talk to me about it, and I would change the subject. And I'm sitting now at probably the best place I've ever been mentally, in a headspace. Awesome, and it's because I've never even really thought of it that way, Andrew, until you said it. I get to be me. And
hell yeah.
And people accept that. What did
dude.
Sally Field say? You do like me. You really do.
I was telling Andrew, right before the interview, there's a reason.
Who's this guy?
Who is this?
Who the hell's this guy?
Maven Huffman?
Marvin.
Well, I told Andrew, I'm like, there's a reason Maven is so successful on YouTube, whereas
keep going.
I'm just
Maven, just lean to the side a little bit so we can see that nice good golden subscriber in the back. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
There's the thumbnail.
Get the wrestler out of here. That's pretty sweet though. Come on. That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Well, this isn't a hot take or anything, but there's a reason you are as successful as you are on YouTube and other former wrestlers are not. You are yourself.
Sure.
You are yourself. You're truthful. You're honest, and you're not afraid to call shit out if you think you did something wrong, or you were in the wrong, or another wrestler was. Whereas you watch these other former wrestlers, and all they're doing is trying to reverse engineer something that happened 10 years ago to make them look better. But that's what I've always appreciated about your videos, and I personally think that's why you have become so successful. And I
think a lot of, and I'm not going to name names, people do whatever they think is going to be good for them, and who am I to tell them otherwise? But I think a lot of guys, they do a little bit of too much of Festivus and way too much airing of grievances in their videos. And if this would have happened, or I got screwed over this way, whereas I learned at an early age, I had a strict father who would not allow excuses in his house. And he always told me, own your baggage. You do something, own it. And you learn, and I don't understand why a lot more people don't know this. People want to forgive you as long as you own it. If you can F up the biggest F up ever. If you own it, admit it, tell what you learned from it, and move on. People want that. They want to forgive you. We're a very forgiving culture, and I have no problem. I realize I am so far from perfect, and you know what? A lot of the ways I acted in my mid-20s, you know, having money and a little bit of fame and touring the world probably isn't the way I would act now.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. So, was there any apprehension on your end when you started your YouTube channel? Because now you can look at it as this positive, but of course you can still even point out, oh, friggin' YouTube, you know what I mean? So was there a moment at the beginning where you're like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to do this? And at what moment did it switch for you?
Well, it switched when two things happened. One, I did a lot of research. From the moment my partner and I had our first Zoom call, I think I probably researched for about a good 2 months on. Wow. I'd never heard of Mr. Beast, and he told me, he was like, "Look up Mr. Beast, find out why you think he's successful." So I did a lot of that and a lot of researching and why, because my partner told me, and he was a genius. He said, "There's a lot of wrestlers that are on YouTube." He's like, "But no wrestlers make YouTube videos, and that's what we're going to do." Because there's a formula to it. Like YouTube has a formula. You gotta one, have a good thumbnail, two, have a good title, something that grabs people's attention, and then have decent content that doesn't overdo it. A lot of people want to do like the podcast form, and in wrestling, a lot of times that just does not work.
Yeah.
So we give bite-sized informations, 8 to 25 minutes, and we try to do it in an entertaining way of making YouTube videos. That's all we're doing. We're making YouTube videos that happen to deal with wrestling. You asked about my apprehension. I told him, I was like, I don't want to bury anybody. I'll bury myself. I'm not going to be that guy that's just mad at the world.
Right.
But I didn't really care what people thought, because the last time I checked, no one from my past is paying my bills. I'll check again. I'll check again when we get off.
Sure.
Yeah. It's funny. I like I told you, I'm a flawed individual. I smoke, and I get my brand new truck, and I'm picking my buddy up, and I light a cigarette, and he's like, "You're smoking in this?" And I'm like, "I pay for it."
There you go.
Hey,
sure. Yeah.
You want to take over the payments? I'll put it out. I'll put it out right now.
Smoking. Yeah.
I'll put it out right now.
Do you talk to any wrestlers now? Are you close with anyone still from WWE?
Devon. I'll be close to Devon till the day I die.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Stevie Richards. Stevie.
Wow.
I wake up every day with a text, a devotional from Stevie Richards. My day is started with a Bible verse and a devotional. It's actually a 3-way that me, Stevie, and Renee Dupree, we all send each other like devotionals and stuff, and it's just a good way to get your day,
Hell yeah.
get your day started. But it's funny because like last week we did a video on Just Incredible. And it was a tough video. Like, it was probably the hardest video for me. And by the time the video was like 3 hours old, I mean, Perry Saturn had called. I had a ton of wrestlers just talking, like reaching out to me, just worried about Justin. But I text Shelton Benjamin the other day. I'm like, "Hey man, we're gonna be in Vegas during Mania. You want to do a video?" And he's like, "Yup." So this has got me back into the brotherhood that, again, I was so far removed from for so long. Yeah.
And now it's like, I feel like there's probably a little less pressure too, right? Because you're your own boss. You're doing stuff with these guys where you're like, oh, we just get to dick around and like have fun and hang out, but also we get to film it and I can make money off of it. That's beautiful.
Well, and what else is cool is I get to put some money in their pocket.
Yes. Dude.
We pay what I think is pretty good. We give $1,000 to do a video with us.
That's always, I'm directing a pilot in August. No big deal. It's whatever. It'll be fun.
Nice plug.
Whatever. No big deal. But one of my favorite things about having, because I work as a writer director, like, and making moves like whenever you can. And the best part is when I can go like, hey, you did something for me on this short film. I have this gig coming up that you can get paid for. Like that is such a great feeling. Because it's so friggin' hard to get anybody to do anything, to make something, especially in the earlier days when you're trying to get started out and you have like, I'm like, I can give you pizza. But like when you can get, when you get to that point where you're just like, hey, you're coming along and you can get paid too, there's nothing else like it. Like it's really, and then because you're like, not only are we doing what we would have done for free anyway, but now like people are paying us for it because they want to see it. And that's,
And it's funny because like there's some guys I did that video with what's Raj's was his name Gender with Gender. And I'm very simple, like I guess I'm old school wrestler. I remember like all this stuff where you pay on PayPal and all that stuff. You do wrestling and do it to keep off the books. Like, no, I don't want to be paid on PayPal. No, I don't want you to cash at me after the show. Hand me an envelope with cash in it. Like that's the whole reason we're doing it.
If you got a bag with a $sign on it, all the better. Like
even better. So and I do it like literally. I want to alleviate people's, am I going to get paid? Alleviate that worry. The moment I see someone, I hand them the money. And I actually learned from Spike. We didn't have the money, and we did with Spike, and then we spent an hour trying to find a bank afterwards. And I'm like, okay, have the damn envelopes beforehand and just get it out of the way. So, but
you do not piss Spike off, let me tell you.
Oh, he's for someone that took the beating he took.
Yeah,
he walks better than anybody. He walks better than I do. It's amazing. He's like Stretch Armstrong. Yeah. But I tried to hand Gender the envelope, and he wouldn't take it.
Wow.
He drove 2 hours out of his way to me, was driving 2 hours back the day before he was getting ready to go somewhere. And he's like, brother, he's like, man, I love what you're doing. I just want to do it with you. Oh, and I was like, dude, I will back you for life.
Yes.
With the man you are.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll be a character witness for you anytime you need it.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like when you do, it's always nice when you're not only like, oh, you're a good worker, you're a good friend, all that stuff. It's like, oh, you're a good person, and I'm learning that through the work that we're doing together. Like again, that's all the like. There's such a beauty in collaboration anyway, and especially when you get to a point where everybody's just firing on all cylinders, and you just want to do it because you're doing it with each other. Like it rules. It just rules.
Well, I also notice, and I'm sure both of you will understand this, just how refreshing it is to be able to have a creative outlet again.
Yes,
God, yeah.
100%.
Like, for the longest time, I kicked out and got a pretty good job on Wall Street and working in finance, but I was just working. You know, I would leave my office and I wouldn't think about it till I walked back in. But now I'm constantly thinking of just how to be creative, and I bet that would be good. And it gives you the most important thing you can have in life, and that's purpose. Anybody that doesn't have purpose, man, I really feel sorry for you, because purpose is the most important thing we can have.
Absolutely. And it comes down to the whole, like, the old adage of you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Like it's just if you can find that sweet spot.
To me, this is as close to working as I'm gonna do. And isn't that crazy? And think about how many laughs we've had this last hour. And it's like, and I'm thinking, across the street there's 7 guys on a roof. Been there since 7 this morning. Thank you, Lord. You blessed me.
And how long? Because I hear that you and I live in the same state, maybe even in the same city. I'm in Jersey. I'll say where I am.
Too. I am too.
Yep, I'm in old Jersey City.
I'm in Hackensack.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know enough. Okay, all right. But I feel like construction in Jersey takes forever, and that's coming from somebody who lived in New York City for 16 years. Like construction in New York City takes a long, or in New Jersey takes a long time.
We moved into where we live now in 2015, and there's a stretch of Route 4 that they've been working on the same spot since we moved in.
Oh my God.
The same spot. The same cones have been up since then.
Wow.
Exact same one.
That's what it is. So it's all coming back to whoever makes those cones. Once we find out who makes those cones, that's how we learn. That's how we learn where all this is coming from. Yep. Okay, I see what you're doing, Maven. Well done. All right,
that's a video for you, Maven, right there.
Yeah.
Big
I think that is going to get some other people searching for other stuff.
Definitely.
Do not Google that, anybody.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're going on the hour mark, gentlemen. I don't know, Maven, if you got to get going or anything, buddy.
And here in a little bit, but I got a couple more minutes left in me. And again, guys, I will come back anytime.
Oh my God.
I've had a blast.
Thanks, man. We will take you up on that.
You got to ask that Winged Eagle belt, and that I love it. That's my favorite. Well, between that and the old Ric Flair belt.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I usually record while my kids are napping, but we moved it up today because we had a very special guest.
Thank you.
Because otherwise I'll be in front of a bookshelf with like a little Simpsons Weird Al figure. And actually the Undisputed Era belt, or the first like combo when they were like, we're getting rid of the 2 old ones, because I love that one so much. But you know what I've come around to recently is old. Well, I guess not the old, the last WCW one, the solid gold.
Yeah,
there's something about the giant plate with the solid
gold. That's the one I was talking about, the Ric Flair one.
Yes,
I love it.
It looks incredible.
To me, it's just gaudy and just cocky.
But gaudy and cocky in a way that doesn't feel like an advertisement. That's probably my biggest problem with a lot of the current belts is I'm like, I'm watching. I know what company this is. Yeah, I am very much aware.
It does. You don't need to throw I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Like
it also doesn't have to spin like a hubcap, guys.
It doesn't. Well, let's not say anything we can't. Let's not say anything we can't take back. Okay, let's not.
That's fair.
It's weird. Once I got into like the business world, I didn't realize just how much everything in wrestling is designed to make money.
Marketing.
Yes.
Yep.
Everything is marketing. Everything.
Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Like it's crazy. And once I got into like this YouTube space, I then realized how much everything is for sale. You know, you see the little cinnamon toast crunch guy dancing at the end of a match, and you realize how much they paid just because I know how much Factor paid for me to do a 90-second spot, you know, and it's just,
I mean, that'll not to get like too deep into the waters, but Vince McMahon got removed because Slim Jim was like, we are not promoting tomorrow. Like that's like you threaten to pull that money and all of a sudden mountains will move.
The power of Slim Jim, baby. Yeah, it's great.
And it does help that it was specifically Slim Jim.
Yeah, it's a business. Like it's a business.
It is.
At the end of the day, you know.
At the end of the day, it is a business. And it's a business that I think what the weirdest thing for me is just how during my time when I was there was no social media. So you had to rely on the company to put you over, to get you your rub. Whereas now, the company is going to be the main thing putting you over. But now there's outlets, there's avenues for people to be their own brand. And it's just so crazy to me.
Yeah. And I think it might be a good way to close down because now we see wrestlers like have like Twitch channels and they're doing all these things. And I'm glad that WWE has eased up on that stuff. I mean, it's to their benefit to ease up on that stuff.
Yep.
But do you see something? Because now we're seeing programs like Evolve and to like a lesser extent, the WWE ID thing.
LFG.
Do you think LFG? Do you think something like Tough Enough is possible in our current landscape, because things, again, Kelsey Grammer was talking about Tough Enough on Entertainment Weekly in 2002. And now I think I feel like some of that stuff might only appeal to wrestling fans, and that could be good and bad. I guess, what are your thoughts on that?
I 100% think it would be possible. And that's because all Tough Enough was selling was Tough Enough was selling two things that every living being can relate to. And that's hope and having a dream. That's all Tough Enough was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope and a dream. And those two concepts never go out of style. And you can repackage and repurpose them in countless ways. Do I think it would be as like raw as it was back then? Of course not. I think it'd be hard to tell people to not have their cell phones with them all day.
Sure.
In 2001, no one had a cell phone. It's just it's funny too, because you talked earlier about how it was on MTV. The people from MTV asked me, they said, do you want to be a wrestler or do you just want to be on TV? Because if you just want to be on TV, we'll put you on one of our next either Road Rules or the Real World.
Oh, wow.
At that point, I had a decision to make.
A little sliding doors moment. Yeah.
And I'm like, I really want to wrestle, but it's funny how they viewed it as a television product.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you probably would have wanted to be on TRL, if anything, if we really want to.
Come on.
I'd love to re-kick it going now. I'd go into the city on a daily basis.
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
I did TRL like the day after I won Tough Enough.
Oh, cool.
So funny. I got to go to the glass. You remember where all the kids were down there?
Yeah.
And I still remember walking over to the glass and watching all these kids jump and then realize we don't know who this guy is.
That's not Carson Daly. What's going on here? Where's Green Day?
That's not Usher.
That's not Usher. Do you remember who else was on the episode with you? Was there
I don't. Yeah, there was, but I didn't even. Our paths didn't even cross.
Sure.
We were in and out so quick.
Yeah.
It was, they didn't have us loitering and hanging around.
Must have been a whirlwind, man.
Yeah. It was. I was probably still a little hungover too.
Fair enough.
As is tradition. So one last question for you, and then we'll let you go. And I think this might be simple. It might not, because one of the biggest things that I remember from Tough Enough, and I can't remember which season it was, but the wrestlers were just like, all right, go run. And then, whenever you feel like you have to stop running, you're going to run some more. And I think that was the first time that, as a younger guy, I was like, whoa, cardio is pretty important. What's your cardio regimen like? And what was it at its most extreme?
What, like back then?
Sure. Yeah. I guess if you still keep up with it now.
Anything I do now is just to try to be flexible. I worked out all those years and tried to get as big and as jacked as possible and neglected stretching. And now I feel it now. So every night I'm in the other room on the floor stretching for an hour at 10 o'clock every night.
Good idea, dude.
If I do cardio now, I walk at an incline. But back then I would run, probably usually about 5 miles a day.
Wow.
But the thing about cardio, you can't you can be in the best shape of your life, but when you get into a wrestling ring, it's just different. You have to be in wrestling shape because it's the stopping and starting, and it's just, and then mix that all up with you're a ball of nerves, and then mix that in with you're in your underwear, so it's just a little bit.
And you're taking bumps too. I think I was and once you stop taking those,
I'm one small piece of spandex away from my nightmare coming true. So it's just
a lot of women's dream.
I choose to. It's funny because somebody in one of our questions asked, I was answering Twitter questions. They said, "What happens if you get a boner in the ring?" And I'm like, Your mind is so far removed from that stuff when people are hitting you with a chair. Trust me.
Yeah. The blood is going elsewhere.
Exactly.
On
the mat. Yeah. Valid question, though. It's a valid question. I don't blame them.
Valid question. Very. Ryan, I'm so sorry that I shit canned all of your research.
Oh my God, dude!
I apologize.
No,
I feel bad now.
The fact that you said you're willing to come back, we have plenty of time
100%.
to get these burning questions,
100%.
buddy. This has been
and look,
I've had a blast.
Over there, if you need to, pelt us with some eggs or something for a YouTube video, look, we got you. We'll be there.
If I do it, I'm not going to do it with something that costs $12 a dozen.
That's fair.
Man, see that now that we gotta go, I'm like, I didn't get to ask all my tariff questions. Next time, that's what next time I'm gonna have a lot of questions about.
Hey.
Yeah, darn it, man.
Well, that'll give the fans something to look forward to.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
I think we know the answer, and you can literally just point to the sign behind you if you want. But if people want more of you, where can they look?
Yeah, I just obviously YouTube Maven Huffman. We also have I do an Instagram, but that's basically just to shuttle people over to the YouTube.
Sure.
We just started a Patreon too, and
nice.
And it's pretty cool. We put an extra video out every month. I'm currently in. I'm reacting to the first season of Tough Enough. I'm doing a Tough Enough watch along.
Amazing.
It's pretty fun too because I haven't seen it. 20 years.
Sure.
So, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm also doing something very cool for anyone that signs up. We've had people ask for cameos, and I don't know how to rate what, is it $100? Is it $50? Is it 40? I don't know. So anybody that joins Patreon, I'm doing one personalized cameo style video for them. And shockingly, I've had more fun doing those than I thought I would because people will write out, and they'll, and literally
roast them.
Oh yeah,
like that.
People tell me to roast them, so I got my glasses right here and sit there and motherfuck people. I had one guy tell me, he said, my wife gets mad when I watch your videos. Can you roast her? And in parentheses, he put "go in hard." So I'm like, literally, I'm like, listen, Tanya, this ain't the mailman. I'm not the FedEx guy. I'm not whoever you want to look at.
I no shade to that guy, but you have to be at a certain point in your life to message someone, hey, go in hard on my wife.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
That's what cameos for, guys.
Hey, I'm having so much fun, and I think we're providing value. You get extra videos.
Yes.
And you get a little cameo fun style video. I'm doing a lot, like people want birthday wishes or a lot, and shockingly, a lot of people just need a pick me up. A lot of people just want to hear something positive.
Yeah, dude.
And
you can change people's lives. It's great.
The craziest damn thing. All that shit my mom told me about how I was the most special boy. It was a little bit true, maybe.
There you go. It also, and it speaks to that landscape too. Like I was saying, it's now that the markets are smaller, there's more of a chance to connect with fans. There's more of a chance to do things directly, and then you can be like, hey, people who are paying me money, what do you want to see? What do you like? What can we do to just keep this going? That's rad. That is something. One of the absolute benefits of where we're at now.
One of our upcoming videos, it's actually, so I get, and I don't care, like whatever people think, but people since day one have thought I'm gay. And to answer the "am I gay" question, my girl of 13 years, we had the patrons write questions for her. And I did it like an interview where I let her, and Andrew, you'll know what I'm talking about. She is she is Central Casting, New Jersey Italian lady. She's Central Casting.
I'm joining just for that. I'm joining.
No one on. No, this is coming out on the regular channel. But
amazing!
I had the patrons ask. They asked the question.
Got it.
But like she tells me on a daily basis how much of an idiot I am, or how much she hates. I hear at least twice a day. Can you fucking shut the trash can lid? Because evidently I forget to shut the trash can lid.
Fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Dude.
But so that and Patreon, that's where you can find me.
Amazing. We can throw that link in the show notes.
Yep.
I'm not hard to find. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Of course.
Again, we will redo this again. You had my word. I had a blast. I don't know if I've ever had this much fun doing someone's show. It was a blast.
Get at it. Don't look. Don't. My head's not going to be able to fit through the door. You stop that. All right. As always, you can find us somewhere in the ring on the socials, patreon.com/somewhere in the ring. There will be links. I have a short comedy film that I wrote called Chemistry Test that you can find on YouTube. So while you're watching Maven's show, type in Chemistry Test short film. It's right in there. And I have a short horror film that I wrote and directed called Pay the Tithe that you can watch on Vimeo. Ryan, what you got going on, bud?
I am heading to Nova Scotia on Sunday for the next 2 months to film a new ghost hunting show. So I'm going to be hunting ghosts throughout the maritime provinces. So I'll be pretty busy, but we will continue the wrestling show as always. And I also am going to be on the next 3 episodes of Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. Maven, you might like that, buddy. World War II and aliens. That's all History Channel is.
I recently got into Ghost Adventures.
Oh, dude. Welcome to my life. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows. Ryan, no bullshit. Is that shit true? Because the shit that they put on there blows my I've never had a ghost invent like anything.
I will tell you this, man. I don't know about other shows, but with ours, we don't fake anything. And you know scripted reality well.
Yes.
A lot of stuff is fake. But we do not fake anything. And there were times where we had to cut the cameras because our crew and stuff were too terrified to keep filming.
Get the fuck out of here. Can I please come? Can I please come?
Done.
Like please find a way when you're filming to have. I want to see this stuff.
All right.
Now, I don't want to walk into one of these old like sanitariums or whatever where the ghosts follow me home.
Yeah.
And shit. Like they're not invited here. But I'll go to where they live and hang out. I want to like I just want to see that shit.
I've been trying to get him to take me to an exorcism for years, but it's a lot harder to time.
I don't want to see that. That's a little too real.
Yeah,
that's a little too real.
You got to go through the Vatican for that.
Fine.
I'm gonna have to pull some.
The Pope owes me a favor anyway. So don't ask why.
I want to see like the ghosts that maybe like a building collapsed and 20 people died and there's some still hanging out. They don't know. They're still looking for their shovels. They don't know that they're dead. Like I want to talk to those guys.
That's their afterlife mission. Dude, I can't believe we started this conversation with Ghost Ship and we're ending with ghosts.
Damn right. Excellent.
We did it.
Circle.
We bookended this, baby. We bookended.
Full circle.
Now, I will say, so to end the show, what we usually do is we have our guest ring the bell to send us home. That can mean whatever it means to you. So if you wouldn't mind, please just ring the bell and send us home. Whatever version of that is to you.
Give me an example of how somebody has rang the bell in the past.
We've had somebody come and like hit one of those buttons that say like yes on it. We've had somebody grab something metal. We've had somebody hit 2 forks together. We've literally had somebody go ding 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 ding.
It is the most metaphorical question we will ask.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what my ukulele's getting restrung. So.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of what else I could ring the damn bell with.
I have a little song that might be stuck in your head that you could.
Beauty School Dropout.
Hell yeah, baby.
Give us a couple bars.
And the worst thing about that is you can't help but sway.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be swaying.
Oh, I'm swaying already.
like that, like how they like how they get the Goombas in the Super Mario movie. That's what I'm going to be doing, just going back and forth. Yeah, you're welcome, Maven. That was specifically for you. That was I was. He will get this.
Yes, you guys had me in stitches the whole damn time. Thank you so much. This was a blast.
Thank you.
I guess I'll just let me think. Talk amongst yourself. Let me go see what I can get to.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, he's going above and beyond.
This set a high bar. I'm just gonna say it, and then I know he can probably still hear us, but that's why I'm saying it. It's set a high bar.
Our first guest who has a YouTube award, nonetheless.
That's true. We're in rarefied air.
And his own action figure.
I know exactly how I'm ringing the bell.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I went to Virginia not too long ago, and I came back with a new toy.
Oh boy. The anticipation.
Here we go. This is for some reason in Virginia. I could buy this gun as a New Jersey resident because it's considered a long gun. However, I couldn't buy a handgun because evidently this is safer.
Yeah, apparently.
Handgun.
God bless.
So ring the bell. Yeah. It's empty. There's no bullets in it, but
thank God.
There you go.
Oh my
God. There you go.
That is the first.
And it's got a cool like infrared optical sight.
Ooh.
Yeah. Needless to say, around my house, we leave the door open because I'm encouraging intruders.
Invite them in, maybe.
Sure.